Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about Pluto conjunct Venus in a composite chart. A lot of people, when they are new to astrology, don't know what a composite chart is, but it's like you put in the information of your chart and another person's chart or any two people's charts, and in the composite chart calculator, it produces a single chart that is an indication of the relationship itself. So it's the chart of the relationship. And in the composite chart, if you have Pluto conjunct Venus, it is probably going to be noticeable to you right away. This is obviously with Venus, the sign of love, and your desires and your sense of beauty and your feeling appreciated and feeling good and your sense of beauty coming into contact with Pluto, which is all about sex, love, transformation, death, pulling up the deepest of feelings. So these energies running together feels like deep, deep love, you know? It makes sense. But Pluto also rules over hate. So it's really interesting how it can manifest. Pluto is also a very, if you have Pluto contacts, like it becomes obsessive. It becomes like one of those loves that is really like hard to not feel the need to control. It will pull up a lot of insecurities in a relationship that are not healed within your love nature of Venus, because that's what Pluto does, is it pulls up junk from deep down. So your insecurities and just kind of like whatever is buried in your psyche that needs to be worked out. So like when you have this with someone else, it'll probably be like, oh my God, it can feel like, and also you have to look at everything else in the composite chart, because I'm going to give a couple examples of different ways it can manifest. But one way it can definitely manifest is you're just right away super attracted to them. Oh yeah, Pluto being sex, like, and Venus being love. It's like, yeah, you're super attracted to them and probably think that you've just found like the most perfect person. Like, how could you ever love anyone else as much as you love this person? And it absolutely will feel that way. And so it can feel like a very, 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 very deep bond that the two of you have. But it's not an easy contact to have. A conjunction is typically considered a harsh contact, and it usually will require both of you to have ego battles and have a really difficult time surrendering to the other person. But compromise is like literally required for you to sustain the relationship if you have this. If it's new, you're just like, oh, I'm in love with this person. But like give it about 6 months, I would say, because that's when the chemistry in your brain starts to like be putting out different hormones than the like euphoric addiction hormones. It starts to be like, okay, is there really basis for like a secure relationship here? And some people who are plutonic in their own birth charts like that feeling, and like love to them should be this like really intense, obsessive almost thing. And so they may be ready to take the ride, and this is what they want and they're signed up for. Other people, it would feel like way overwhelming and intense. And it just kind of like depends on what you like and who you are. But even if you're someone who likes intensity, I would say this could be difficult, because it feels like the other person is just walking around with your whole entire heart in their hand. So, you know, like it will go how it will go, because you have two human beings involved, and hopefully you treat each other really well, and hopefully you're both willing to be honest whenever unconscious fears and insecurities and desires or shadow aspects of yourself come out, because they will. You'll be yelling at each other. Like, you might be the most peaceful person ever and like find out that when this person does something that they didn't tell you they were going to do, like all of a sudden, like you just feel such anger, that you're like acting in these ways you didn't even know you could act. It can be like that. It can definitely be like that. It just feels like if they don't cater to your Venus nature, you'll die. That's what it feels like. If they don't stay with you and love you in the way that you need to be loved, you will do everything in your power to control them, to make them love you in the way that you want to be loved. And that's not really how love works. Love is about holding on to something loosely. Like, they're your person, then let them live a little bit, you know? And so learning to genuinely come to that relationship on a daily basis with the desire to purge what Pluto's naturally going to purge. Be honest with yourself about it. Be humble. Don't let your ego take control as it 100% wants to in this relationship, because if you can move through the ego battles and let Pluto do its job from a responsible, healthy standpoint of being willing to undergo that process, then like it's just a transformational love, and you'll feel like you and that other person have gone through the depths together, and like it's a love that is so deep. And so that can be obviously amazing and really cool, but also look at what else is going on in the chart, because if you have Saturn squaring it, that's going to be really rough. If you have like other things that are going to like soften it, like trines from the moon, or like other things going on that build some stability and some joy and some laughter into it, then, you know, y'all could be totally set up. But if there's other things going on that are also going to be like ego clashing and stuff, then like you need to be careful. You need to actually be careful, because human beings are capable of some crazy stuff when we get deeply insecure from our core. And that can happen with this placement. I had this placement with an ex, and we we broke up a long ass time ago, and like I still have dreams about him. It was the most painful breakup I've ever experienced. Like, letting go of him as a person felt like it was gonna kill me. And I'm not even like a romantic kind of person. I'm a pretty aromantic person. But when that relationship ended, the needing to let go with this contact, with Pluto contacting Venus, it felt like I was gonna die. I'm not even kidding. It was so painful. Okay, I've also had it with like another girl in like the small town where I live, and I also have with this girl, okay, so the situation is a little weird. She is in a friend group of people that I like have some mutual friends with her, and so we're around each other a lot, but like off the bat, like literally as soon as I ever saw her for the first time, it was just like there was some extremely difficult energy in between us, and it wasn't like by the intention of either one of us. Like, we've literally had to talk about it by now, because this has been going on for a while now, but like we've always been like, yo, I think you're a cool person. Like, I don't know what this energy is, but it will literally feel like when we're in the same space, I physically want to like turn around, because it like overwhelms my nervous system. It's like hard for me to like look her in the face, but I mean, I have a hard time making eye contact anyways because I'm autistic, but it's an intense and heavy energy between her and I. And there was a point where I was like, I think she's lying that it's not personal. I think she honestly hates me and just won't tell me, because Pluto can be hate too. So if this is a situation where you are not unfolding a romantic situation with someone else, it can literally feel like they hate you. Granted, in this composite chart I have with her, I also have Saturn on the south node, so that really adds like a very heavy element. But like, oh my god. And the obsession piece too, it was like we both would be like talking to people about each other a fair amount, which kills me because I hate that. I don't want women competing against each other. Like, I am always like, let me just pierce through the beef and just settle it and talk to her face, which is what we did. But then like it wouldn't go away, the intensity of this weird vibe that I had with her. And so I would continue like processing it with friends, and it felt like obsessive. It felt super obsessive. It was terrible. It's kind of finally settled down now because we've been like around each other long enough that we're like, okay, this isn't going to change or whatever. But it was weird for a while. And then I like finally, you know, was feeling like crazy in my head, and I like look up our composite chart and I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And I also have had this contact with someone that I see around town, and like we've talked like a couple times, and I feel like every single time I see him, like our bodies just end up facing each other. It's weird. We'll be like across a room from a distance and we'll just both like physically gravitate towards each other. So there's like an intense kind of like something brewing there that's like, I don't even know he's there, let's say, and I like walk in and I just find myself suddenly like facing him, and it's like, okay. And like every time we talk, we'll have like short conversations that are not about anything in particular, but it'll feel like it's a really deep conversation. It just feels like I can sense how he means, what he means, and what he feels on a really deep level. So this is just one that you're probably gonna feel. Oh yeah, just another really fun fact for the viewers. So my ex that broke my heart so bad that I had this contact with, my sister also had this contact with him, with my ex. And I always felt like they were like attracted to each other and like would flirt with each other in front of me. And if that's not Pluto conjunct Venus, like, I mean, I'm sure that there's some like karmic shit going on with that, but it absolutely killed me. Jealousy, that's a huge piece with Pluto. And I had to sit there and just know, because I'm an astrologer and I've obviously looked up their charts because I'm just nosy like that. And I find out that they have like the same conjunction, and I just was like, oh my God. The way it made me feel is hard to describe. But so jealous, so jealous. And we all want to think that we're like enlightened and like can just not feel these things through meditation or whatever, or trying to be a good person. And it's like, obviously we don't want to, like, we all want to be evolved and being our best people and treating each other well and see ourselves in a positive light. But sometimes astrology placements just come along and drudge up these strong emotions out of people that they didn't even know they had, because we're just human beings like that. So anyway, I hope that this was interesting for someone. If you liked this video, please give it a like. Subscribe if you're really feeling the love. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.